Michael, we're going to talk about the Prima roller kit again. I just actually talked to the manufacturer, and what happened was there was a repackaging issue, and no wonder we're getting actually a heavier weight on the 6 gram versus what it should have been for a 13. So what happened was that they actually, see this one, we referenced it in from a new package, and this was our original one here. We opened up, I put the Dr. Pulling replacement, which we only took out. So I took out, if you notice there, remember we went after the 11 gram one, so unfortunately it's incorrect. Our math and calculation is correct though, but what happened was it was reversed like this when we got it. So this is the original one here. Again, this is the one that we used. So what I did was I took the 11 gram here, I added with the 13 gram here, assuming that these numbers are correlating correctly to the color code, but it was actually reversed. So if you do get one like this, make sure you look at the picture on our website. It's actually, I'm going to take this around and flip it for you. It's actually supposed to be this way. So that means the manufacturer, whoever handled this, didn't actually do it right, and this is why it was. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an accurate account for it. I'm just going to write in ounces, and then you guys can go back and take a look at it to make sure it's actually the correct gram. It might be off by a little bit because I have an ounce measuring tool here, a digital scale tool. So here we go. I'm going to turn it on. Here we go, let it recess. Okay, we're going to take accurate measurements here. So this is actually what it should have been as the picture described. So if you look at it, the heaviest weight that we measured here when it was flipped over to the top like this, it was 6 gram, was actually supposed to be the 17 grams. So that was it. Our calculation is correct, but except for the color codes, there were not. So here we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take an accurate measurement of each roller weight. So we'll start with the new package again. I'll leave this aside. So here we go. I'm going to bring this new package around. We're going to open this guy up. So again, the green should be on top and the 17 grams should have been the white one here. This one should have been, it was actually reversed on this. So now that we got it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be, we're going to take accurate measurement, and we're going to use this board here, and I'm going to write down exactly what we have in ounces, and then we'll do the conversion, or you guys can do the conversion on your own there. Just use Google. Okay, so the first one we have is the green one, correct? So green one is very much on top. We'll just take any one. Okay, we'll put down their scale. One should be able to see the scale as well. There we go, maybe that'll. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start with the green one. The green one weighs 0.2 ounces. Okay, so we'll put 0.2 ounce. Penmanship is not the best. Okay. The next one is supposed to be, let's go down the row, 7 grams. So it should be a little bit above 0.2. Still 0.2. Again, this is not accurate measurement, but we'll just put here 0.2. We got the same ounce. Okay, for our orange one. So it's pretty close. Okay, so this one should be 8 grams. 0.3, barely made it there. 0.3 ounce. Okay, just writing it all in there. And then this one here is 9 grams. So it should be above 0.3 ounce. We just want to make sure there's consistency here. It should be a higher number. So this is 0.4 ounce. Okay, for the 9 gram one. Then the next one is 10 grams. We're just looking for consistency right now. You can get a little more accurate with a gram chart. Okay, this is 0.4, so it's close to 0.9 again. So that's fine. Okay, and then the last one, 11 gram. It's in consecutive order now. This is what it should have been. 0.4. All right. Okay, now we're going to go to the heavier side. Now there's getting into 12 grams here. Okay, there we go. 0.4 again, so it's close to the 11 grams right there. So that's okay as long as the numbers don't go downward. Then that you know there's something mixed up again. So we're just double checking everything. Okay, 0.6 for 13 grams. I'm gonna make sure I write down ounces. Okay, the 14 gram one. 0. Whoa, didn't the 13 grams show me 6 ounces earlier? Let me double check this one here real quick. Okay, it's like I said, my meter there, it's not going to be accurate, so it went back to 4 ounces. So we'll go and change that to 4. There we go, fluctuate to 5 ounces. Alright, so let's go back to the green one again. This one's probably a solid 5 ounce. Okay, so that's correct then. We'll just leave the 13 at 0.4 ounces there. All right, and we got the blue one. It's getting harder to take out now. Let's see if I can pick on this. There we go. All right, 0.5 ounces. Okay, it's almost fluctuating in the same vicinity as the 14 grams. As long as it doesn't go to a lower number, then we're good. Okay, the purple one, 0.6. I wrote something on it earlier. Okay, 0.6 ounce. And then the last one here, which was flipped over on this last time, it was the white one. So the white one here should be 17 grams. And it comes in at 0.6 ounce, which conversion wise is about 17 grams. So that's correct. So you can see here, that's actually what happened there. It was rotated incorrectly this way when it was actually packaged in here. So what we had there was the 6 grams showing at the 17 gram weight when it should have been twisted around. So what's the chances are that 2 packages came like that, huh? So whoever did the packaging didn't pay attention to where it was rotated from the scale here. So that's what it is. So that what that means is, in order for us still to get our 12 gram weight, we actually have to use, I'm gonna go and get the colors out here. I'll use the one that's from here. We'll put this one back in. That way the next person won't get confused because we sorted it out correctly for them. So there we go. That one's correct. So we don't have to worry about this one no more. Go ahead and put that back in here. Okay, so let's take ours here. So we need to bring the other one back. Okay, so the white one is our 17 gram one, so we'll face that there. So that means in order to get our 11 gram would have been actually our yellow one. We need to get the 11 gram, the yellow, and then we need the 13, which is the blue. So we got to take 3 yellows and 3 blues. So we'll replace these once we take off our variator. We'll probably do it when we get our ankle biter on there, so we'll just do it all at once. So these are actually what makes our 12 grams. It is pretty much the yellow. And the yellow pretty much is our 11 gram ones. And then our 13 gram ones were our blue ones. So this is what it would probably take in to actually get our scooter to be 12 grams. Just trying to keep it same consistency. So this is what it would have been. This is the actual real color for it. Not the, I think there was right here before it was, if I flip this around, this was green that we took out, and we took out, let's see if I can flip this so I can remember the color that we took out. Yeah, we took out orange, that was here, and then we took out white, that was here. That was incorrect, so it just needs to be reversed. And that would be your Prima setup there as far as the roller weight. So just make sure if you do see the inconsistency and you try to weigh it yourself and it tells you, you know, contrary to your own beliefs that why would it weigh lesser to be lesser weight. I thought it was the way they configured everything to make sure it balances out, but no, it was actually just incorrect packaging reversed on this. So now we got that correctly. It should be this way. That's actually what it should have been. So it's exactly on our website in the picture that it shows. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about also springs and compression springs. Very hard to get into because I don't know too much well on them, but I know the color codes. Naruko has a different color code, and their 1500 RPM springs are white color, and their black ones are pretty consistent. You can see here it says 50,000, or actually the opposite, actually the reverse on this. So you do want to read the spring color. The Naruko one, for their, I guess this is probably for the, let's see here, Naruko. Oh yeah, this is probably for the 139 QMB one. So, or the DO kit, or whichever, one of those 50cc plus. So this will be pretty much 1500 RPMs. I believe the white one, they'll say it on there, if I can find it. The red ones are 2000 RPM, so the white one's more than likely is going to be 1000 RPM. Now that's actually for the 139 QMB. Now when you get into the NCY one, this red one is the same, 2000 RPM, and then you've seen the 1500 RPM, which is yellow color, and then our black one is 1000 RPM. So unlike the 139 QMB, for each manufacturer, they don't really sometimes follow the standard color code. So you just want to read it. Now, as far as it relations to performance and the way it catches on the clutch, I just go by this. If you're feeling like, you know, you need more torque, then you want to go to higher RPM gauge springs, even for your clutch, as well as your compression. Now, you feel like you can probably do better with a lighter, you know, more top end speed, quickly take off, then you might want to consider going to like a 1500 RPM springs. and also change the clutch to perhaps also a 1500 clutch springs, which we haven't changed yet, so we'll leave it at the default 2000. I think that's why NCY pretty much packaged their kit together with 1000 RPM springs, so I guess it's better for top end. And then they kept it at 2000 RPM clutch springs, so they might want to maybe have the compression springs engage first before the clutch spring engages. So that's probably something that they're testing out. So again, go by how you feel. The best way to do it is just actually get onto the scooter and see for yourself. If you need to, you can pick up some of these tuning kits, as well as a variety of compression spring sets like these. I don't think NCY makes like a set like this, so you probably have to get each one. But then you can play around it. But however, the Dr. Pulley ones, they do actually give you quite a bit. They give you everything under. Let me see here. I can show you. So this is Dr. Pulley. This is the clutch system here for the Dr. Pulley. It's not open yet, but they give you a variety of, you can see it on our website, Dr. Pulley Hit Clutch. They give you a variety of these, not only just clutch springs, but they all call them pillow springs as well. So you can get a variety of different kinds and types. So that's it for right now. I'm going to share with you guys. What I'm going to do is go back out there and finish the work on the handlebars, which we're going to get that taken care of today. We're going to go ahead and pre-drill the holes, and that way we can put the front in. Alright, going back to our progress of what we did as far as cleaning up. I'm also thinking of actually doing this to the cam chain. I'm not sure if it's going to be one base gasket will be enough to actually not cause the cam chain to be so tight. So what I did was, it was very simple to actually take apart. So you have your cam chain tensioner, right? And all you do is get a piece of plier. I'll show you what I did. There we go. Go get a piece of plier here. You can use this too if you want, needle nose or whichever. And if you ever see the inside of cam chain tensioner, it's not that thing, it's just a winding. So all you do is actually, if you want to take out this whole piece bracket here so it doesn't have any, well, I wouldn't recommend it yet unless you're willing to experiment like what I'm doing. So what you do is just take this little, sort of like an O-ring clip, like this right here, big huge round, I think it's like a steel clip. And what it does is it all comes off. And when it comes off, there's going to be a spiral inside of it wounded up already. So that's pretty much what your inside your cam chain tensioner looks like. This spiral right here, it starts out like this, and then it just keeps winding itself in. So when you wind the Phillips, when you get this guy off, you'll see here. I thought it was pretty neat that you can actually just take it off. And maybe if you're really careful and skilled, you could probably take it off and clean it really internally. But there's a little rubber that actually protects it right here, like a new one will have. But mine, I guess, came off already. But it's probably prevent the motor oil from actually getting into that, and maybe, I don't know what it'll do over time. These springs might get harshed on these springs, just like our starter motor. So yeah, it goes like that right here. That's why you see the top of it like this. There's a little flathead, because that little flathead right here is actually from this. And there's a spring here too. You can take this all off. I believe this is just washer locked, maybe. It's interesting. Okay, oh yeah, there's a screw. So you take the screw out here. So it's just all, it's nothing but like a special threaded screw, looks like. And it just grabs onto this one, and this press against your top of your cam chain, like right there. It presses it right there. I'll show it to you. Look at that, it puts pressure right there on it. Yeah, let's see, this right there, it puts the tension right there. So where that falls into the cylinder is, so these are all little parts that came from it, including the wires here. It's kind of wind out. So that's the little wind tension wire that's giving you tension before it retracts back when you put your Phillips in there. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually still, I'll keep my O-ring and everything in here. Where is that O-ring? Oh, there he is. Kind of fell right in the cracks. Okay, so you can see here we got everything cleaned out, sorted out, ready to put this one back in here. That's for backup for use. And what I'm going to do is, I was thinking of just using, since my cam chain is so tight already, because whatever reason could be, maybe just be that extra gasket maybe I had earlier, but we'll find out. I'm thinking it might be because one link can actually make it so loose. I mean, all the gasket that we put in the base gasket plus the additional copper spray that's on both base gasket, that might be a reason why it was actually so tight. But I was thinking of just using it like this, almost like a non-EGR valve cover really, but I'm just using it for just to block it so the motor oil won't squirt out. So I'm going to show you in the relation right here what it's going to look like when it's going in. So here we go. You take our cylinder jug here. That's where the cam chain slot is right there when it's going in like this way. Okay, you can see here how's the line. Okay, so once this goes in here, go in the direction you want. You can see here how it flushes right there. See, it doesn't go in anymore anyway. See, it hits that right there, so it's perfect. And so what that's going to happen is it's not going to put pressure on this anymore, which I think will actually do me a favor because it won't put so much pressure on the cam chain, which is already super tight already. I don't think the cam chain will loose. I know heat expands things, so I don't think this cam chain is going to create any more looseness away from the camshaft to be able to skip a teeth or anything like that, or jump a teeth and maybe go crazy. So I'm going to take my chances and just experiment. I'm going to put a gasket and everything just to make sure this gets sealed. But if you look at it, since there's no more of that you know, we call that shaft right here protruding it, it's not going to put that extra tension on this cam chain that pushes down, and just kind of makes, I think it slows a little bit of my rotation, because I remember my flywheel turning very easily when we did our little test there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it off. Oops, sorry. I'm going to keep it off, the tension off the cam chain, and I still need to cover it up. So that's why I was thinking, I was going to think of soldering it off, but now I don't have to. I didn't realize how easy it was to take apart. If you do decide to take it apart, I don't think it's really that simple to wind this up, unless you have very articulate tools and stuff like that. Then you can get it back in here. But this thing was like really wind up. I can show you a little bit about how to wind it up. So how it goes again, this is the complete assembly. So this comes in here, and then you have the one that threads in. Let's find that thread in one. Where are you? Okay, we got the little thing here. So you can see our cylinder is very clean. I didn't take out the rings. I don't think the rings, you know, are going to be, you know, unclean, because I think they had enough gap there when I guess we kind of rinsed them in oil. I mean, gasoline. It kind of vibrated. I was able to also take out the stud too, by the way. What I did was I drove down the 2-bolt trick a little bit further deep inside. And I'm thinking also putting the gasket exhaust here too, by the way, for our, let's see if it fits well, our Tata one. Tata 232 cylinder head. I'm going to put that on that little ring there. Normally we don't use it. It only comes complete with an engine gasket. But yeah, I was able to take it off. I just kind of did the 2-bolt trick, but I kind of went a little further in the thread. Maybe I was just too much in the edge or something, and the edge part was probably getting a little loose and slippery anyway. So that's why I probably didn't grip it at the very top of the top nut. So with that both there, you can see I can use a little vice grip. I had to use the vice grip to actually take the nut off. It wasn't to take it off the thread here. It was already off. I had to break it back in because that nut would not come off. You know, you can't have it both ways, it seems like, with them. Okay, so here we go. Let me go and find the one that I just actually yeah. All right, come on, where are you at? Peekaboo, peekaboo. All right. Let me put this back here. We're done with this setup. And I'm trying to find so I can assemble this for you so you can see how this all works on the cam chain tensioner. Let me go ahead and find where it just kind of popped out of. Maybe here. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Right here. Always throwing things around. Okay, so this is, again, it's the flathead that you're used to seeing when they say take a little small flathead to it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to reassemble it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. You can thread it in here like this. Now you want to put the washer too, because the washer holds from the other side. So you can put the flathead slide against the spring. It's always a spring mechanism. Now this isn't the spring that you're twirling here. This is the spring that causes the tension. So how it relates is this wire here. I'm not going to be able to wind it all up for you, but you can see a little bit how the wind is going to start. So see how it goes like that? So it's going to start. I have to station this. Let me see if I can. See, it won't let me. Well, this will continue spinning. So let's say if I can grab it. Let me try to hook it, and let me see if I can spin it somehow. Okay. So that's right there. It's winding itself. And so it gets wind up like this, and it goes further and further into a little small, probably no bigger than the washer really. And then what it does is, in this other end here, it hooks on the outside, like right there, that we saw last time when I first started cleaning it. You can see it protruding out here. So let me see if I can reverse this and squeeze it in there. It's gonna be a little bit trickier. Okay, it's gonna be really tricky. So this wire right here was the only thing that was holding it from resuscitating back into his hole. So I'm gonna try to get him out. Let me see. So it's kind of hard to get from this angle, or any angle really, because it doesn't seem like I have. Let me see. Take a piece of plier. There we go. Now I got little fingers. Let's force this guy here to curve in like a D. Okay. All right. So anyway, it would have gone in there, and what happened was it goes in there, winds it up. Like I said, once you take it off, it's going to be very challenging to try to spiral this back. And you can see how at the other end it makes its way and latches onto this side, and this gets wind up like this. And so this what gives you the tension, and when you release that flathead, all of a sudden it springs back open and pushes this out again. So, but the way to assemble it back would be to simply just say we got this winded up already. So you would do is put your washer, put your spring. Well, put your washer first. Washer needs to protect the spring from popping itself out. Okay, so I'm probably just going to save these for parts. There we go. There we go. See there? It's winded up. And if I don't feel like it is enough tension on that cam chain after we install just one base gasket, I will go ahead and just put a new cam chain tensioner. So this was my kind of old one here. So we're gonna go, there we go. It fits a certain way, and then you just pop in this ring right here. Pop it back in. Goes in pretty easy, like it comes off pretty easy. I'm surprised it came off really easy. That was it that was holding the whole mechanism, was this little spring here. And so you could see if I can hook it first. Hook it from one end to another end, huh? So sorry. Oh. It's just very interlock. Alright, why don't we do this? We get it all in first, and then we can worry about circling it all around. Let's just get it all in first. So we have to stretch this circle. There we go. Probably easier to do with a pair of clips. I had it. There we go. So that's in, and that's in. There we go. See how it interlocks right there? And that was it. So if you ever want to take your cam chain for any reason off, I was just thinking of actually almost kind of like, I was going to get, what I call those cutters, just really cut the whole thing flat, because I just really need this flush space. But if you look at it, the oil will still come out, because there's one little hole right there, right? So instead of having to do that, and it doesn't go any further in than it should anyway, because eventually it gets hit by this very top part. So let me go and put it in again, that way you can see how far it can go in. So what we did was, when we took out the shaft, we shaved off at least about probably 2 centimeters from it driving our top cam chain down. Like, again, I am only doing this because I just see there's no need for the cam chain tensioner, being my chain is so tight already just by force. So I think it rides more smoothly if we don't have that resistance of the cam chain tensioner just putting pressure for no reason. So that's why I'm going to take my chances and removing just this part here, and just taking the cam chain and just to use it as sort of a cover. But other than that, so I'm just going to take this whole unit out here, and that's it. That's all I'm going to use it for. I'm just going to bolt it down, and so when I bolt it down, it's not going to come any further. It's just going to be like right there. So that's it. That's what I'm planning to do. It might change, who knows. Like I said again, the gasket, one gasket is actually sufficient, and it still makes the cam chain feel like it's loose, it's not very super tight. Then I'm probably going to have to replace this with another cam chain tensioner that's fully functional. So we'll see.
But everything here is very clean. I'm very surprised how nice we got it. This is actually the final product. You can see here it's almost good as new. So we did a really great job in scrubbing it and gasoline bathing it and all kinds of stuff. So I guess we don't have to use Easy Up. We'll find out about this one tomorrow, because again, it's being soaked. You can see it's almost actually looking pretty good here. You know, this is what it was before we put some of that, you know, thing. You can see here some of the black sludge is coming out. Let's see if I can get you in a better light. There you go. So it's not too bad. It's coming along. You know, it's still not the prettiest yet. And one good thing is we got the studs off cleanly. We didn't have to break anything. So this side's not too worried about. So that's it. As soon as this gets all cleaned up and everything, we'll put it as assembly, like the valves assembly back on there. And I actually, you know, found another Neridium spark plug I had previously. I totally forgot, and so I'm cleaning this one up too. Our new one we just put back in there after we cleaned it. I mean, the one that we just tested with. So now I got two Neridium spark plug. I didn't realize I had another one laying around as parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this one back in after I clean everything, because it's still in very good condition. It probably doesn't have more than 500 miles on it the most, and spark plug lasts a little bit longer as long as you clean and take care of it. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna leave that there. It's gonna drip some oil in soon. Our Naruku intake manifold is clean to its fullest. That's the best I could do for it. You know, it's a lot of unfortunate scrapes, but you know, as long as it holds and it doesn't do anything of that, cosmetically this will be face down anyway. And if we really want to, we can always touch up with some, some black paint or something. But it still looks really nice. So I can't wait to put this one back in, our Naruku intake manifold. In the meantime here, what we're going to do is we're going to do like another dry fit. Probably I'm going to test it out again. So that's why I kept the old base cylinder gasket. So what I'm going to do is when I mount the cylinder on here, I'm going to do a dry fit on it. And then I'm going to see how the relation is. Then we're going to wipe all the oils off and everything. So it's going to be a little extra work, but I think it's better to do it that way than put the engine back in and find out differently. You know what I mean? It's going to be more time consuming. Speaking of which, time consuming is also drilling the handlebar holes. I'm very cautious of it now because I realize we have so many factors to look into. How it was originally angled from the previous to what it is now. So what I'm going to do is actually take, this is the cover I was telling you about where the little peephole is. So this right here, if I didn't show you before, it comes in like this, right? It sits in, and then this little peephole here, this goes back to your brake lever, your master brake cylinder, so you can actually see it, but you really can't because this thing is, square. They should have faced it the other way. Or maybe it is this way. So they did do it right, but it still wasn't enough because the little indentation here, you still can't see it in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like a dry fit on this one, where I'm going to mount all the assembly back on there and see how much more I can move. Because if you look at here, it's got a lot of slack here. Look at that. Almost a good centimeter that can be pushed in more. And when you put the bar in mirrors, if it doesn't have that actual bar and the end flushed a little bit, it makes it a little bit more weak. So what I really want to do is how much can I afford to shove this in more? Like bring the handlebars in more, just a little bit, maybe not even a millimeter really, maybe 75% of a millimeter if I'm lucky, or even half a millimeter if I'm lucky. Just half a millimeter, not a centimeter, just a millimeter. Just a little bit millimeter more will make a difference as far as getting this guy to flush in some more. Look, and this one looks like he could probably go in really realistically, preferably, ideally. I probably want to take him like a centimeter and a half more, to be honest with you. Because if you look at it, he's way out here. Look, I could put my whole, I don't have small fingers, but I can put my whole fingernail in there. It's flushes still before I can actually touch the metal bar. So that's the same thing I want to do here with the throttle. So I'm going to assemble all this back like original. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and mark it. Let them because the minute we drill it, we're going to have another hole to cover if we mess up, So I figure, why don't we just do this, take the time, do it right. Because I don't want to drill any more extra holes than needed. I don't want to make our handlebar weaker because if you drill so many holes all around, eventually this thing will crack open. So right now it's just 2 holes. The hole's just in placement to lock the teeth in. But if you look at this guy here, see, you can bring him up to a certain amount, right? So you can see he comes up to here too. He comes up to about probably a centimeter and a half further to go. I was thinking of bringing them in more like this, you know what I mean? I really want it to flush like that, ideally. But I can't say for sure because if you look at it, our brake lever is going to be right here. Our throttle built in with the mirror holder is going to be right there, wherever this is left off. So we have to make sure it actually allows us to actually have some play here, because if it doesn't, that means we can't. We have to keep it within the original, just a little bit slightly, downward we can make, but we can't go further inward, because if we go inward, we're going to crush our plastic housing here, and our housing won't fit, and then we'll have another problem there. I mean, we're going to be driving with some pretty ugly bars. I mean, naked bars. They're not ugly, but they're naked. So that's what I want to do. I want to actually bolt it on correctly, get that properly done. That way I can see where my mirror is supposed to be tilted and actually get a feel for it. So when I get that line, I'll use this right here, center hole punch tool, which is very simple to use if you ever haven't used one. You cannot drill anything round in diameter without center punch tool. Speaking of which, this will probably help me with my brake bleeder bolt to drive out if I actually did a center punch on it first. Here, let me see if I can do it right now and show you how it actually works. I won't do it on my handlebars yet because, again, we haven't figured out where we're going to actually drill it yet. But I will go ahead and open this and show you. See if I can make a mark somewhere on my bolt. So what you do is it actually has a spring that compresses on it too. So let's say, for instance, we need to drive something out, and especially something round, it's slippery, and we need to actually drive it out. So is this bonjo bolt here on this side? Oh no, it's actually on the brake, so that's cool. The brake's already off. So here we go, let me take that brake here, show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's say, for instance, see that right there? Look how bad that is. What happened was, it's so slippery, right? Every time I put a drill bit, it just slips off and it actually starts eating our thread. So this is actually pretty much damaged already. But what you would do is, you'll grab a center punch tool like this. I didn't see how useful one is. So you see it retracts it back and forth. So, and you do it, when you push down on it, you'll see it click. That click mechanism is like a spring inside. See, like that. If you do that enough time, it'll start making indents deeper and deeper. Actually, it goes deeper and deeper. So it's like taking a hammer and hammer it, but you're not actually causing damage outside the area that you don't need. You're just making that dent where you need it to before you put your drill bit in there. So that's what we'll do. We'll actually be doing this and then putting our drill bit in there. Like that. And then what we'll do is come chase it back with this drill bit, which is perfectly the size that we need to actually put our teeth in there. It's going to be very snug, which is good. That's what we want. We don't want it to be too loose because, again, we're going to have that, like the issue before where it tilts back and forth slightly, the windows. So that's what I do. Here goes the markation that we just made. In fact, here, I'll put another one here, that way you can see how much it can actually drive. So let me do it somewhere where it doesn't look so ugly. I mean, this is pretty much damaged already. We're going to probably throw it away because we can't really get this guy out. And for us to fix the thread's not worth the... Ready? Watch. See that? Now this is soft aluminum too, but it still does it to metal. See how it goes deeper and deeper? Now it's not going to poke a hole through it for you, unfortunately. But you can see there, that's enough right there to actually tell your drill bit. I just want you to focus on this diameter and it'll anchor it all the way. And then you can drill bit easily, especially with something a round surface like a handlebar. You gotta definitely get one of these. It makes your job so much easier. It takes less than 2 minutes, to be honest with you. Once you punch it in, put the drill bit through it. You might have to apply some little oil just in case it skips, but you don't have to. It's just optional to make your job easier. But you can see here how it puts the indent for you. So very nice tool, come in handy a lot. And I think they're probably heat treated to a point where it doesn't wear out much. So you can see it's pretty strong still after a few usage already. So yeah, we're gonna do that once we find out our markings. More than likely, I'll probably want to put it near here. So this is where I'm probably gonna have it near come by. Probably around that area right there. But we're gonna do a dry fit to see where the handlebar mirror is gonna lay low first. And then we'll take it from there. So let me go ahead and get this started on assembling this and put it together first, the handlebar, and then we'll go ahead and do a center punch to see where the mirror is going to fly. Because if we don't do it right, we're going to have another hole that we need to patch up with JB Weld, and that's not really what we're doing. Save us some time to having to redo the work again. So this mirror here is going to be on this side, and there's the teeth again. These teeth are what we're trying to make work, where we're going to align it so it can turn a certain direction and angle. So once that teeth hooks there, that mirror will be stationed there. It
rotate like what it was before. It was wearing out the teeth because the holes was getting bigger, or it was the teeth was getting worn out more. All right, so this is Michael with NCY Store, and we'll continue on the video again.